How do you make food prep taste fresh days after? As you can see, we're in the kitchen and this is prep day for us. So it's quite a appropriate question to be answered. And the answer to the question is multifaceted. So there's a few things that will help in terms of making your food taste really good when you cook it and then you eat it later. Whether that's later in the day, later in the week, or you freeze it and you eat it later in the month, right? So obviously there's advantages to food prepping in that you are using your time really efficiently. And if you're struggling with time, that's probably one of the biggest time savers because it's going to get you out of the kitchen and it's going to allow you to do other things like get active, move around and exercise and all of that kind of stuff. So my first tip for making your food taste really good after you've cooked it is first of all, make the right choices in terms of the food that you're actually cooking. If you're cooking chicken breast and you're putting it in a salad, well, it's going to go very soggy very quickly and it's not going to taste the best a couple of days after, right? Yeah. So some of our go-to favourites in this house for food that tastes really good a few days later are things like rissoles. Okay, they actually taste better when you eat them a couple of days later because all of the flavours gets soaked in the meat. Another thing is like chilies. So if you're using mince or beef, even your chicken and your lamb, pork chili, that kind of stuff, all of those kinds of foods are really good. Soups, stews. I know it's pretty hot here down in Australia at the moment, but if you're elsewhere in the world, then you're going into winter. Well, they're perfect to cook up and to portion out, and you can eat them whether it's a few days and they've been left in the fridge, or you pop them in the freezer and utilise that as a way to be prepared ahead. Some other things or other tips are, so food choice is number one. Keep your meats and your salads separate right until you're about to either put it together for the day or put it together for the meal. If you're packing a fridge full of food and you're putting your meats with your salads, that salad's going to go, it's not going to stay as fresh as it would if you left it separate, okay? And with that said though, it depends on your taste buds, it depends on you personally and how it fits into your life. I mean, for us, we don't mind having some meat with some salad in the fridge for a couple of days, 3 days, maybe even 4. Pushing that, obviously, you would keep it separate and then you would put it together later on in the week. So they're my two main tips. Do you have any tips?
Yeah, so choose salads that are like very crunchy, munch and crunch. The salad, for example, that we love and we never get sick of is carrot, celery, cucumber, all very crunchy. Keep them all together, cut that all up all together, and we also add the fruit, right? Because I find that I can eat more salad if I've got that sweetness in it as well. So any fruit that's in season, we don't go and make it any fancy. It's just whatever's in season we cut up and we store separately like that. But even in saying you're keeping your meat separate and your salad separate, with that salad I can put like a piece of fish that's already been cooked there, ready to go. But then at work I can reheat the meat, and then I eat the meat, like so the fish for example, and then I eat the salad by itself. But even with these types of things like chicken, we've got marinated chicken in there right now and I've got a whole bunch of veggies with that. The flavour will go into the veggies once I reheat it. The same as the rissoles as well. I put them with a bunch of veggies, my favourite veggies of choice. And there's no problem with reheating it again to cook the veggies and then reheating the rissoles, and once again the flavour goes into the whole meal. Bolognese. So we cook up the bolognese and then we have that all portioned out and you can add some veggies all portioned out, ready to go, but they last 4 days.
So that's another good point is that I thought of is the Tupperware container that you use and the fridge, right? So if your fridge is getting old and the seals are starting to wear, the food will go off quicker. We've got a pretty good fridge and we've also
got really good containers
invested in good containers too, which keeps everything fresh. And then it comes down to, well, what are you willing to put up with, right? Are you willing to put up with the lack of food? and the tired, stressed, hungry cravings, and then the binge eating and the crappy decisions that you make when you don't have any food? Or are you willing to step up and be a little bit more productive, a little bit more proactive, have your food there ready, and be okay with it not tasting super fresh, like hot off the pan, right? You don't have to have every single meal in your day tasting like it's come off the pan. I think we've gotten into a little bit of a, and I know you might not agree, but a little bit of a situation where we're a bit spoiled, right? So you go to cafes and you eat hot off the pan all the time, and
kids don't. When they go to school, they have to eat them. Like Amira has to eat her rissoles. Amira has to eat her rissoles cold.
Yep.
She doesn't complain. She just eats them, and she's used to them now. Like I do put a cold pack in her lunchbox, especially for warmer days.
Yep.
You know, you get used to that. Or if you are lucky and you're at work and you've got a microwave, then you just reheat it.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, in terms of salads and stuff as well, you don't want to have those salads that will go soggy. Like we never
lettuce.
Lettuce, tomato, all those kinds of stuff all those kinds of foods that go soft and soggy. You're not going to have them pre-made up.
No.
Yeah.
We would only probably use lettuce and tomato if we're cutting it up fresh.
Yeah.
And we're having it with tacos.
Yeah, stuff like that. And so it can sit in the fridge by itself for a few days for tacos again and again.
Yeah. By itself though, hey, like the lettuce and the tomatoes stays together, and it's not mixed with anything else.
Yes, exactly. And the same as, again, bring it back to kids with their lunches. I do wraps sometimes, taco wraps or taco bowls, taco boats, I mean. And the lettuce and the tomato and everything and the meat can go on there, and the cheese and stuff, but they usually end up eating it cold.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And you eat those cold chicken and lettuce wraps and stuff like that from the shops.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they pre-prepare it as well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone's maybe worried about their freshness, but do you worry about the freshness in cafes?
Yep.
Yeah. In Subway.